Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Bish's RV in my hometown Coldwater, Michigan store with the 238 BHS Freedom Express. Now this is a floor plan that a couple different builders do. They all do it a slightly different way, and there's things about this one that I like, and there's a couple things about this one that I don't like, and I'm going to kind of show you the good with the bad, with the ups, with the downs, with everything in between through this video. So what separates this one? What are the things that might be like, oh, those are some attractive qualities? First of all, this is a sub 30-foot family camper with a true queen Murphy bed, which is like incredibly rare to find. It's also a double Azdel sidewall camper. It is completely carpetless and ventless in the floor for easy cleaning, including a carpetless slide out. This is also kind of a rare find in that it is very tall person friendly in a small lightweight trailer. The RV itself only weighs about 5,300 pounds, 7,600 pounds max, and with the wide stance axles and the reasonable length, this should qualify very nicely for most half-ton towing. But the taller ceiling allows for like a taller slide out, bigger shower, taller bunks, more storage. And that is really, I think, one of the biggest key qualities that they put into this one that you don't usually find in a floor plan like this. Now, they got a couple other nice benefits like some TPMS and just a host of good things that we're going to see. It does have a couple hiccups though. Some people may not like the fact that this is what I refer to as a bendy bed Murphy bed, but at least it is 80 inches long, and it does allow for a bigger front passenger compartment that Murphy bed campers don't normally allow for. So sometimes everything's greatest asset is its greatest liability. Stay tuned to the end of the video though, and I'll give you a couple options for some things that might be similar, or if you'd like a private bedroom. And if you appreciate all that information, hit that subscribe button and let me know what you like and dislike as we go through our video today. So something I like to try to do, for the most part, I try to stay out of the way of the camera so that you sort of are getting like your own first-person view of this RV. And it's basically what I'm doing right here. From the front Murphy sofa in like day mode, if you will, this is kind of what you might be looking at, unless you stand up like I did, which, you know, I suppose you could do, certainly. Now, at a glance, you look at this and you say, well, that's a stupid way to do the television. The good news is the TV pivots around. And actually, the funny thing about it is you end up with really good TV visibility, whether you're over there at that sofa, whether you're over here at the dinette. It doesn't necessarily really matter where you go. That TV can pivot around. Now, at a glance, you look at that and say, yeah, but I lost a chunk of my kitchen storage. You actually did not. I will show you that in a few minutes. You'll actually see that the storage has only shifted and moved. It hasn't been lost. It's just been placed elsewhere, effectively. So just kind of giving you a peek around. One of the things this RV does a little bit better than I think you would expect is campsite window coverage, especially viewing here from the dinette area, because you've got the 1, 2, 3 window punch right there, as well as all the window coverage, you know, over in the bunk space overlooking your campsite. Now, this RV, you may have noticed, I'm going to keep pivoting you downward. It is carpetless. It is ventless flooring. It is also, like I mentioned, taller than the average bear. It's 6'9" tall on the inside, which very few travel trailers with a layout remotely like this are. That extra ceiling height makes the whole thing look and feel bigger. It allows for taller storage, taller slides, more space between the bunks for less head bonking and crying, and basically, not to mention, if you're big like me, you'll really appreciate the bigger shower space that you have in this one. Now, one of the other things that's really kind of cool here is that is a 60 by 80 true queen Murphy bed. So taking a look at that, I am in wide angle mode doing this quick little demo here so you can kind of get a view of everything. But the fact is, this thing folds out to be a 60 by 80 true queen bed. But as I'm clearly demonstrating here, it is what I call a bendy bed Murphy bed. There's some benefits to it. There's some drawbacks to it. The disadvantage is you have to kind of fiddle with the sheets most every night. Unless you kind of slap a fitted sheet on top of it like I've done here, which is kind of a cheater. The other thing is this RV, like I said, has surprisingly good storage. Notice that TV can pivot all over the place. We're looking at the 12-volt DC compressor fridge today. There's also an 8 cubic foot gas electric option. You have a standalone solar option that you can get with or without either refrigerator, depending on what you want there. And they kind of borrowed, we'll say stole from Rockwood. It's like they followed Rockwood into a dark alley and beat them up and took the prints to their 2509S and kind of freedomized it a little bit, because you see that extra storage cabinet right over there encapsulated within the slide. Not to mention, remember I said we didn't lose the storage where the entertainment center was. It's just been moved over here a little bit on this like full-on pantry wall. The only hiccup with that is it kind of gets, well, not kind of, it gets totally lost in road mode. But we will also take a look at this RV with the slides closed in just a minute here. Now, a couple extra details. You may have noticed that that table, it's fully free-floating. Not to mention this RV includes its own indoor-outdoor picnic table, and the little sliding panel to access the storage on the back of the booth is just a really nice touch. Not to mention, that's like an 88-inch long dinette there. And I'm operating from memory, I am sorry, but I believe these bunks are like 44 by 74 in size or something like that. Obviously, they are shaped like the state of Nevada with the corner cut away, so you'll have to kind of contend with that a little bit. A few more details, some things that are a little bit more difficult to see. On the back side of this island, you do have some household outlets. That's also where your little stereo unit and your master control panel would be located. The cabinetry is all pocket screwed in here, so it's something that should hold up pretty well. And actually, last several consecutive years, we haven't seen Freedom Expresses coming back to the shop with like frequency in terms of needing heavy warranty work or anything like that. They've been holding up and doing pretty darn well. Now, they do a different thing here with their bunks, which I actually think is kind of brilliant. They sort of do like what a Toyota does with these blackout snap-on shades right there that can just straight blot the sun out like the arrows of the Persian army off this bunk window. But if the kids are thrashing around, they don't tend to rip and shred anything. These are 300-pound rated bunks. Up here, you see household and USB outlets. Weirdly, down here, you do not. I've always been kind of surprised by that, the difference there, but at least you do have a set of household outlets down there. So if you give the kids like a household to USB adapter, they could keep their phones plugged in and charging up or whatever the case may be right there. And I'd be kind of curious, what do you think about this? Is this a crazy idea or is this kind of brilliant? What if instead of that U-dinette, what if there was like a theater seat or something over there, or a hide-a-bed or a sofa? Would that make sense in this floor plan, or is it one of those things that just because you can do it doesn't mean you should? And while you're pondering that, I'll give you one more thing. If you want kind of a visual sample of something like that, that is, now that I think about it, now that I've said it out loud, that's basically what Ember has done with their version of this floor plan. And I'll touch on that more at the end of the video. Porcelain foot flush stool here that is just crazy fluffy friendly. That's one of the things I really, really like about Freedom Expresses. They fit bigger people well in a shorter length, lighter weight trailer. And that's just big person friendliness, like the shower headroom in here with that 6'9" ceiling in a shorter, lighter trailer. That's just stuff that doesn't normally go together. It's one of the things that I really like about this brand. Now, I want to get the slide closed up here and show you everything in road mode. This right here might quickly become like a bit of a deal breaker factor for some folks. Because as you're going to see, there's going to be some stuff that you very quickly lose access to. And I hope you appreciate the fact that I'm willing to showcase sometimes even the not so good points of an RV. Like the fact that with the slide close, there's exactly 0% chance of you getting that front bed down for like an overnight travel sleeper. But if you look over here, it's a bit of a moot point because basically the rest of the camper is cut off. Now, if you are willing to like lift one of the kids up and heave them over the countertop, they could get back to the bathroom and the bunks. You could get back to the fridge if you do the butt scoot boogie and the Dukes of Hazzard across the countertop. I'm not saying that that should be something you should have to do in every RV. It's just what you might have to do here if you're looking for like a quick little emergency travel potty stop. So you can get to the bathroom, just not without climbing over stuff like a jungle gym. Or like that kid in the McDonald's play place that just always has way too much snot just rolling out of their nose. And you're just like, are you gonna eat that? Oh God, it's so gross. I'm sorry. I will try to never do that again. Will I promise? No, absolutely not. There's a very real chance I might say something like that again. Regardless, I was just putting the TV box back in this thing. I had it out of the way earlier, and I realized we have like a blank canvas wall right here. Has anyone ever, like any actual owners out there of this or a similar camper, have you done some kind of decorating? Like, what would you put up here given the opportunity? All right, so first and foremost, I kind of mentioned this a little bit when our video began, but let's talk towing. With the weights and measures on this one, it should generally qualify as half-ton towable. Now that may vary a little bit, but depending on your experience level, your terrain, your weather patterns locally, or even the specific details of your vehicle, because half tons are not all created equally, so kind of keep that in mind. Now, one of the big benefits of the bendy bed Murphy bed is the fact that it does provide far better outside storage. You see a full front pass-through compartment on these right here. Also, as we scroll our way up here, Pete the dog's keeping an eye on that magnet holdback for the baggage doors. But what's cool is it does have that little positive clip right there. It won't drop on your head unless you decide to let it go. But you may also notice, does not have slam latches. Many things, I would venture to say most in this class size and price point don't have slam latches, but I think a lot of people would like to see those given the opportunity. And I'd be kind of curious, what do you think about models like this, where it gives us a Murphy bed, but during the day, the bed pretty much blocks the windshield unless you're just, when you get to your destination, if you just put the bed down and leave it there, I suppose you do maintain the front windshield and some cool visibility that way. So, I mean, it's not that it's completely without validity. It's just I don't know. To me, I'm starting to sort of feel like front windshields, they're awesome, awesome eye candy, but I don't know that they're necessarily providing super good function on a lot of RVs. I don't know, that's my 2 cents. I would love to hear from you folks. What is your general feeling on front windshields in most any trailer? Do you like them? Do you dislike them? Let me know. Wide stance stability axles with now factory standard tire pressure monitoring. And the wide stance system there, even though this isn't a long RV, that wide stance system will make this camper look and feel like it, well, not look and feel, it will handle and feel behind your vehicle like it is actually shorter than it truly is. It essentially helps you cheat the wheelbase. It takes out some bounce and sway and wiggle from the towing equation. Now, they're like one of the only manufacturers I see consistently still include sinks in their camp kitchens, and they let the sink slide open to you where you can actually get to it, and that is a real sink with a real drain into a holding tank, not the dog dish that you just flippity-flip on the ground and, create a little bit of a mess there. Now you see that we've got that handy utensil drawer, which is fantastic when you're outside, because one of the cool things with that is this little insert is completely removable. So if you want to take that thing out and set it like on the picnic table that's included with the RV, you can do that. Now, giving you just a quick sample of one of those picnic tables from another of our Freedom Expresses over on the left-hand side of the screen here now. It's about 2 foot by 4 foot. The trick with this floor plan and that picnic table is that it doesn't have a dedicated outside place to store because it doesn't have quite as large of a front pass-through as most of their models. And I'm going to give them some credit. Is that the biggest awning I've ever seen? No. Could it be any bigger than what it is? No. It clearly covers the entry door and the camp kitchen, which I think is a really nice little 1-2 punch. Now, you may not see a spare tire back here. That's because they mount the spare tire on these actually on the tongue of the RV, which helps with load equalization a little bit. And frankly, if you feel like adding some accessories to the bumper, well, it just kind of keeps the bumper open. Now, full clarity on that. The lawyer-type muckety-mucks are going to say, don't do it. Don't put stuff on the bumper. But they also say that bumper is rated for 200 pounds. So that is one of those things that the factory doesn't exactly sanction that, but they literally build for you to do exactly that. So kind of figure that way out. Basically what I'm saying here is it's going to be a case of doing so at your own risk and using common sense. You don't want to put something that's like 500, 600, 700 pounds on the bumper. Ooh, this is one of those little details I forget to talk about all the time. Let's talk about the slide out protection on these. You see that little plastic trim right there? It actually wraps under the slide. And the reason being, water, rain will wash its way down the slide wall, which all RVs have happen, but it will try to wick its way sideways and stay adhered to this surface as long as possible. Well, by virtue of the fact that this kind of tapers in and then there's like a little bit of a ledge, it will cause that water to bead up and drip down instead of soaking and wicking into your slide out subfloor. Then factor in the fact you've got this really rough textured slide skin right here and double T-shaped wiper seals. I haven't talked about this recently, but if you get right up close and personal on this, you can actually see it has an extra little lip on it that most slide seals don't. And there's an extra one inside, plus a bulb seal on the inside and outside. So you're always maintaining 3 points of contact, 3 seal points on that slide basically, while it is fully extended or fully retracted. And while it is out, they're giving us some handy dandy, anti-water wicking measures. Now, I'm really sorry, jammed inside here between a couple other units. This, by the way, you see the ladder, it does have a fully walkable roof. It is roof solar prepped by default. You can get these with an optional factory solar package as well. And as promised, I mentioned there are some other things that are pretty similar out there. The most prolific will certainly be the Rockwood 2509S, or the Flagstaff copy thereof. Ember is now making something like this. Or if you like a private bedroom, like if you're like, I don't want that Murphy bed, and I don't want people looking at me while I'm sleeping and breathing, well, they make a version of that too. I'll leave links for all those in the video description, as well as links where you can check pricing and availability on these at any of our Bish's RV stores at any time. And again, remember, the way that you're seeing it equipped here in this video today could be, and very likely is, different from what we might have on hand at one of our given stores, because we do build stuff a little bit differently for each member, or each of our locations, is what I'm saying, to kind of better service the local clientele there. Any questions you have, leave me a couple comments, let me know, and I'll do my best to fill in as I'm able. And remember, anytime you can call our team and get some, like, let's say you're like, hey, what is the measurement on this, that, or the other thing? Call our team, they'll grab a tape measure, they'll check for you. We're happy to do that anytime. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.